to not have any aspirations outside of getting married. And I'll be the first one to say it, but these trad wives are losers. They're losers with no ambition, no aspirations, no dreams of their own that don't revolve around centering a man, revolve around depending on a man for the rest of their lives. Like, you're just outsourcing any sense of responsibility for your own life, for your own decisions. You are part of the first generation of women who have ever been able to live this way, who have ever been able to have financial autonomy and decide what to do with their lives and travel the world. And yet you take all that autonomy and then you hand it over to a man. Like, that is embarrassing. You're a lame. I don't care.
Yay, we support all women. We love women, right? Woohoo! Yeah, I mean, I think this is obviously stupid. I think that, first of all, plenty of trad wives or like stay-at-home moms do have plenty of other aspirations. They have hobbies, they have things that they do. And even if they don't, even if a woman grows up and says, all I want to do is be a mom. I love children, I love my own children, I want to nurture my children and grow them up to be respectable human beings. That is what I want my life to be. Why is that a loser thing? Why is raising up the next generation loser behavior? How else are we going to continue society? Like, you think that, your aspirations are so much better than her aspirations. Why? Again, this isn't even true of like the vast majority of stay-at-home moms or trad wives. A lot of them just really like homemaking. They really like domesticated life. They really like their children. And that's fine. It's not loser behavior. You're actually the loser for trying to say that them having an interest that is not your interest is somehow loser behavior. I don't know if you've heard, but like, women are allowed to make those decisions now. And a lot of women are choosing that for themselves.
I didn't think that we get to the point in society where women are now starting to hate women that like men or that depend on men or live a traditional life to where they focus more on the children and the nurturing aspect of raising children within that household or that relationship than they do about becoming a modern woman and deciding that they want to get a job. Never thought that the villains would become mothers, stay-at-home mothers, traditional families and traditional wives. But that is the rebellion that comes along with what we've seen is unchecked power and unchecked anger. Really, it's all anger. It's just evilness and it's anger. Because why would you even care? I thought that was the whole idea behind feminism. It wasn't to put down women that decided that they wanted to roll with traditional households. It was to empower those that decided that they don't. And if you decide that you don't want to do that, then I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with you, or nobody has a problem with you deciding that you want to go and live your life the way you want to live your life. I personally think that women should not have to work after they decide to have children. I am a fan of the stay-at-home mother and the stay-at-home wife. I think that we have too many women in the workplace, and that's ultimately leading to what you see happening, what's wrong with society, high prices, women leaning more into their masculinity, homelessness. It's a lot of factors, and I went into that on the Millionaire Morning Show a little bit more. But just for the sake of conversation here, and I'm going to keep it short and brief as much as I can, the point that I'm making is that how did we start to remove choice from women that choose to like men and to be in relationships with men? How did they become the villains? Women have been demonizing men for so long and using terms like toxic masculinity or using terms like angry men or red pill and all of this stuff out of context for so long that now the women that align themselves with men or women that ultimately choose to be traditional wives have become the villains. And that's why you see a lot of these women that they quiet, right? It's far and few between where you will see a woman that admits that she's a traditional wife or she's a stay-at-home mother, or they make content around that, or they focus on being pretty and focus on being nurturing and do skincare routines and focus more on that because they know that the hyenas, the angry women, they're going to come out of the woodwork and they're going to hold you accountable for then liking the person that you're with or depending 100% on men. Now, never mind the fact that we see women all day, every day from every demographic saying, hey, boss, I'm tired. I'm tired of working my butt off. I'm tired of hustling. I'm tired of grinding. I'm tired of trying to bring home resources. I don't want to do this anymore. If I can find a man that leans into his masculinity, that takes 100% of this burden off of me, I will focus 100% on the children. I will focus on peace. I will focus on being a good person. I would just live this life because they've experienced it on the other side. They don't like what comes along with that. So it would behoove us to then lean more into or allow for them to be able to have that conversation and then lean more into that if they can find it. So a lot of women are not able to find it because they've already done too much. They've already lived a certain life and, men are not interested in entertaining that type of conversation. But for those that choose, because we are in America and you have the freedom to choose what you want to do as long as you're not doing anything illegal. How have they become the bane of the existence of women that decide that they want to go and work? Right? You don't have to add that into your algorithm. You don't even have to view that type of content. I see people that say stuff that I don't necessarily care for all the time. And the first thing that I do is I remove them from my algorithm by saying I'm not interested and seeing nothing else that they got to talk about, especially when they are haters. But this is the spaces that we're in. This is the spaces that we live in. And now women hate women that like men.
They see a lot more fulfillment in raising children than they do slaving away for a boss who would replace you tomorrow if you died today.
I don't know how many times I'm going to have to say this, but I'll keep saying it. Just because someone has different dreams than you doesn't mean that their dreams are less important. Doesn't mean that your dreams are better or bigger. It just means that you're different people. There is nothing lame about wanting to have a happy and healthy marriage and have beautiful children and leave a legacy that's bigger than you. It takes a lot of work to keep a marriage healthy and happy. That's why divorce rates are so high. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. And that's why not everyone gets married, not everyone has kids, because it's not easy, it's difficult, it's hard. Just like getting a college degree is hard. People are going to take different paths in life, and it's totally okay if a woman wants to get married and have children. There's literally nothing wrong with that. I'm not a trad wife. I work, I have an amazing husband who's the main provider, so I get to be home with my son most of the time, but there's nothing wrong with a woman who wants to stay home.
The only thing that, and we're going to get to this next one real quick, the only thing that defines or separates a trad wife from a more modern wife or a woman that decides that she still wants to be married, she still want to work, is that the traditional wife depends 100% on the income of the man. That's the only difference. The only difference in lifestyle. Now, that may be reflected in what they look like or how they carry themselves or all of that. And I think that more men are looking for traditional women, and they're willing to take care of those type of women when they find them, because they find them to be a lot more conducive or aligned with what the vision is that they want for their children. Everybody don't want to have their children inside of daycare. Everybody don't want to not have children. Some people don't want to be with a woman that is working all day, and they would prefer for that woman to be taken care of so that they can be prepared for when they decide to get home or whatever, right? Some people are interested in the thing that their grandparents had, and there's nothing wrong with that at all.
With a woman who wants to stay home.
What are you going to do someday when he cheats on you and you are left with nothing?
And I also say this, it seems like, and I could be wrong, it seems like traditional wives tend to be well taken care of or better taken care of. Skin routines, face, makeup, all of that stuff. For whatever reason, these more modern traditional wives or today's trad wives that decide that they want to just lean into, traditionalism, they look like they're well taken care of.
A question I get asked a lot from feminists. Feminists who think that I'm degrading myself by being a stay-at-home mom. They think that lifestyle is oppressive, and they are just waiting for the day where my husband is like, I don't want you, I hate you, and then I'm left alone, like on the side of the road, it's raining, I'm crying, and I'm like, I should have listened to the feminists, they were so right. Maybe that magical day will come for them and they'll be really, really happy. But let's just think about it for a second. My husband is a great provider. He takes care of everything. I have plenty of time to do hobbies or do whatever I want because I don't have to be in a job. I also get to stay home with our babies. I get to wake up next to them. I get to put them to sleep. I get to make them meals and talk to them all day long. But they think that I should go to him and say, honey, you know what? Let's change this whole arrangement. I actually want to take all 3 of our kids. I want to pay upwards of $20,000, $30,000 a year, maybe even more, to outsource all those moments that I like spending with them. I want to actually pay somebody to do that. So I can go sit in a cubicle or get some 9 to 5 or do some spreadsheets for an employer who's usually a man. So usually somebody else's husband. I want to go work for him instead and then secretly stash whatever's left after paying for daycare. Whatever's left of that money I need to stash, all in anticipation that someday you're going to leave me. Listen to yourselves. Listen to yourselves. You guys are insane. No.
Yeah, I think that is pretty insane also. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. T-Janley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love y'all. I appreciate you. I'll holler at you guys later. Peace.